In this video, I'm going to show you a 3-step strategy for remembering any amount of numbers for as long as you like, be it phone numbers, account numbers, credit card numbers, or whatever. If I gave you these 10 digits and asked you to remember them 10 minutes from now, you'd probably have to rehearse them over and over again until you remember them. And that's an effective strategy for a small amount of numbers. But if we doubled it, tripled it, quadrupled it, and I asked you to recall it and repeat it a year from now, would you be able to do that? Well, it might be a little bit more challenging. But if I gave you those same 10 digits and I represented them as an animation like this, I know you'd be thinking, I'm probably crazy, but there is a way where you can actually take those digits and represent them in a way that allows you to visually see them as opposed to just recalling numbers as individual units. The 3-step process is as follows. Step 1 is translation. We have digits 0 through 9, and each digit has a corresponding phonetic sound that relates to it. If I show you the phonetic alphabet here, this is what we can use as a rule that will be able to translate any digit to a specific sound. So once we've done that with all of our digits, we'd move on to step 2, which is encoding. You take the individual sounds and you group them together in consecutive order to be able to create words. And once you get those words, you move on to step 3, which is creating an outrageous story that allows you to recall a story rather than the digits. But if 2 years from now you wanted to just recall the story, you can do that and then reverse the process and get back to the digits instead of just having to try to remember them through rehearsal or whatever other memory trick you can use. So let's take it a step further and use the 10 digits that we brought up earlier, 996, 781, 0472. If we take these digits and we represent them using the phonetic alphabet as sounds, we have a B, B, J, K, F, T, S, R, C, N. Now, if we can put those phonetic sounds below, then our next step would be to group those sounds together in a consecutive order that allows us to create words. So in this one I used Baby Jack fights a raccoon. If we take those sounds and we put them down into words, we can take those words and then build a story from those words. And that story was the animation you saw a few seconds ago. Now that's the easiest way for us to actually remember a story. It's easier for us to remember Baby Jack fights a raccoon for years rather than it is to remember 996, 7810, 472 for years. There's more meaning behind those stories. This was a memory trick that I learned years ago after I read a book called Harry Lorayne's Page-a-Minute Memory Book. And it was something I just never learned in school, never learned in college. And it was something that I found quite useful, especially since most of our learning and education was based off memory. And a lot of what I do for work is remembering numbers and recalling those numbers. So just test it out for yourself. Let me know what you think about it. And I appreciate you watching, and let me know if you have any questions.